President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy. State-owned oil company, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited.
This is the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals Company in Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos, and trucks are lifting premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, at the facility's gantry.
From oil to gas, Nigeria is gearing up for a major energy revolution. With over 109 new projects set to deliver by 2026, the sector is transforming faster than ever. Massive investments, indigenous firms stepping up, and a nationwide gas transition. This is the future of Nigeria's energy landscape. Join us as we break down what's fueling this high-growth phase, the game-changing policies, and what it all means for investors, local communities, and Nigeria's economy. Stay tuned. The future of Nigerian oil and gas starts right now. Full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. At the heart of Nigeria's sectoral renaissance is the full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, enacted to overhaul the regulatory framework, attract investment, and instill transparency. The PIA has been instrumental in delineating clear roles for regulators, transforming state-owned entities like NNPC into fully privatized companies, and establishing independent bodies such as NUPRC, National Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and NMDPRA, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. This restructuring has injected a new level of certainty and confidence into the sector, encouraging both local and international investors to participate more actively. The regulatory clarity provided by the PIA has led to increased transparency in licensing, bidding processes, and project approvals. Digital platforms now streamline application procedures, making it easier for investors to navigate regulatory requirements. Furthermore, community engagement has been prioritized, integrating local stakeholders into project planning to ensure security and sustainability. These reforms collectively create a more conducive environment for sector growth, making Nigeria an attractive destination for oil and gas investments. Massive infrastructure milestones. Nigeria's infrastructure development is a critical pillar underpinning its high-growth ambitions. The construction of strategic pipelines such as the AKK Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano pipeline, which is expected to activate in the first half of 2026, aims to facilitate the nationwide distribution of natural gas. The AKK pipeline, intended to connect gas-rich regions with major consumption centers, is pivotal in realizing Nigeria's gas-to-power goals and reducing reliance on imported fuels. Similarly, the OB3 Obiafu-Obricom-Oban pipeline, slated for full commissioning in 2026, is set to bolster gas exports and domestic supply. These pipeline projects not only enhance Nigeria's capacity to deliver cleaner, cheaper energy, but also serve as vital infrastructure for the country's broader decarbonization efforts. Additionally, the Dangote refinery, expected to be operational soon, promises to transform Nigeria's downstream landscape by increasing local refining capacity, reducing import dependence, and stabilizing fuel prices. Upstream rebound and indigenous participation. The upstream segment is experiencing a renaissance with increased activity in both offshore and onshore areas. Notably, Nigeria is shifting focus from foreign offshore operators to indigenous firms who are now stepping into divested onshore assets. This shift signifies a strategic move to deepen local content, boost employment, and enhance sector resilience. Indigenous companies are increasingly acquiring and developing onshore assets, which were previously dominated by international oil companies, IOCs. This transition is driven by Nigeria's desire to maximize local participation, foster capacity building, and reduce operational costs. While concerns about technical and financial readiness exist, sector experts believe that indigenous firms are gradually building the expertise and resources necessary to optimize these assets. The growth of indigenous participation is also fueling demand for oilfield services, equipment, and technology. This localization trend aligns with Nigeria's broader vision of a self-reliant oil and gas sector that can withstand external shocks and create sustainable economic opportunities. The Decade of Gas, a transition in motion. Nigeria's ambitious Decade of Gas initiative, launched in 2021 with a target to become a gas-powered economy by 2030, is gaining momentum. The country aims to shift its energy reliance from crude oil to natural gas, leveraging the resource to drive industrialization, power generation, and transportation. Key milestones include the activation of the AKK pipeline, the full commissioning of the OB3 pipeline, and the rollout of a national gas licensing round in 2026. These projects are designed to expand the reach of domestic gas infrastructure, enabling broader access and adoption across sectors. The push towards compressed natural gas (CNG) and liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) is central to reducing transportation costs and lowering dependence on imported fuels. CNG in particular offers a cleaner, cheaper alternative for vehicles and public transportation, promising to cut fuel costs significantly. However, infrastructural challenges such as the availability of CNG filling stations and safety concerns remain hurdles to rapid adoption, gas flare commercialization and value creation. One of Nigeria's long-standing challenges has been the flaring of associated gas, which wastes a valuable resource and harms the environment. Recent reforms aim to turn this liability into an economic asset. New laws prohibit flaring, mandating companies to capture and utilize flare gases for LPG, power generation, or other industrial uses. The 2025 gas flare commercialization project exemplifies this commitment. It involves licensing companies to develop infrastructure for capturing flare gas, converting it into LPG or CNG, and integrating it into Nigeria's energy matrix. If successfully implemented, this initiative could unlock significant economic value, reduce greenhouse emissions, and support Nigeria's climate commitments. The role of policy incentives and market dynamics. Policy incentives are crucial in accelerating gas adoption. The government's current measures include tax breaks, subsidies, and incentives for gas infrastructure development. These policies aim to make gas more competitive against traditional fuels and encourage private sector investment. Moreover, the cost competitiveness of CNG compared to petrol or diesel is a compelling driver for adoption. Analytical data indicates that CNG can be more economical over time, especially given the rising petrol prices. However, infrastructural gaps, such as the limited number of CNG stations and safety concerns, slow down the pace of change. Oil market dynamics and external factors. While Nigeria's sector is gearing up for domestic growth, the global oil market dynamics remain influential. Recent geopolitical developments, such as the US forces' capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, could influence global oil prices and supply stability. Although Nigeria is less directly impacted at the moment, given its efforts to refine domestically, the global supply-demand balance will inevitably affect Nigeria's revenue outlook and investment climate. The outlook for 2026. With over $18 billion in approved field development plans, Nigeria's sector is set for a historic transformation by 2026. The combination of infrastructure milestones, regulatory reforms, indigenous asset development, and gas transition initiatives positions Nigeria as a dynamic player in the global energy landscape. However, challenges persist. Infrastructure gaps, security concerns, financial constraints, and market uncertainties could hinder the full realization of these projects. Nonetheless, the strategic focus on local content, regulatory stability, and renewable energy integration provides a strong foundation for Nigeria to achieve its ambitious goals. The coming years will be crucial in determining whether Nigeria's ambitious vision for 2026 will materialize. But one thing is clear, the sector is on an upward trajectory, with a promising horizon that could redefine Nigeria's energy landscape for decades to come.